Welcome back to Chaos in the Old World. First up is a correction from the last episode. Zinch, his special ability is when he places 2 or more corruption, which he did in Astalia here. It must be done in a space that has either 2 warp stones, or a warp stone and a magic symbol, or 2 magic symbols. And if we look here, the 2 cards that he had played in that area were both teleports to get rid of the Khorne bloodletters, neither of which has a magic symbol. So that was played down here. So, Zinch did not get a turn of his wheel. So I'm going to put it back to the start. And when we did turn his wheel, he was able to place a warp stone. And we placed it here in Bretonnia. So I'm just going to remove that. All right, so that is going to fix what we had as an error in the last episode. So I'll just readjust the camera and we'll begin round 2. Okay, so the first thing we do in a round is we do the old world phase, which is drawing the old world card, and we see what it is. And it is just an event, and it's plunged into chaos. Each player immediately scores 1 victory point for each peasant token he has claimed. Well, the only one that's claimed peasant token so far is Khorne, and nobody else has. And it says the player who has claimed the most peasant tokens scores 3 additional victory points. Discard this card instead of adding it to the old world track. Wow. So Khorne has had a sneaky little maneuver there. He's the only one that had a peasant token. And so let's go to the victory point track. He's going to score 1 for having 1 peasant token and 3 additional ones because he has the most. He's the only one with them. Okay, so Khorne here, who was tied with us, Zinch, is going to get 4 victory points total. 1, 2, 3, 4, taking him right to 9 victory points. Wow, nicely done. Now we're into the draw phase, which is drawing cards. And so as us, Zinch, we only have 2 cards. We get to draw up to 5. And all the other Chaos Gods are going to be drawing 2 cards apiece. So let's go over to our player mat areas. We'll drop 3 new cards for Zinch and see what they are. Alright, so I've drawn 2 cards for Khorne, for Nurgle, and for Slaanesh. And we as Zinch are going to draw 3 cards, and let's see what we pulled. We have another teleport. Move any cultist or warrior in this region to any other region. When you play this card, we have when you play this card, each other player with at least 1 cultist in this region loses 1 power point. You gain 1 power point. Ooh, that's nasty. And lastly, when you play this card, choose an opponent with figures in this region. That player must discard 2 chaos cards from his hand. So again, playing Zinch, we're all about messing with other people. We have if you kill 1 or more figures in this battle, this round you choose. You can not discard this card, and when you play this card, 1 of your figures in this region, that figure cannot be killed. Alright, so those are going to be our 5 cards. And of course, now after we did the draw cards phase, we are into the summoning phase. And yes, we begin with Khorne. And I should refresh all of the power tokens to their defaults. And doing that right now. Make sure we're all set for that. And so first up, we're going to have Khorne. So he's going to decide what to do on the board. He's either going to summon a miniature or he's going to play a card. Alright, so Khorne is going to spend 1, 2 power points, and he's going to play the Blood God's Call card. It says, when you play this card, immediately move up to 2 of your figures to this region from any other region or regions. So I wonder where he's going to play that card. Let's go to the board and find out. Alright, so Khorne is going to be playing this in Astalia. And so he can take 2 of his figures from anywhere on the board and move them into Astalia. And yes, the 2 exiled bloodletters are going to move into this region here from up north. So he now actually has 2, 3, 4 domination value there as well. All right, over to Nurgle. All right, Nurgle is going to spend 2 of his power points, going from 6 down to 4, and he's going to play this card, which is the final Rotting. It says, at the end of the battle phase, kill 1 enemy cultist or warrior in this region for each of your corruption tokens here. And let's go see where he's going to play that. All right, Nurgle clearly wants to dominate Kislev. He's going to play that card into this space. So it means at the end of the battle phase, he's going to be able to kill 3 other units because there are 3 corruption tokens here. So that's a pretty nasty move from Nurgle, but these are not nice gods. Over to us, Tzeentch. Let's see what we're going to do. Okay, kind of a long way away, but we're going to play a card. We're going to go from 6 down to 5 power, and we're going to play the Persistence of Change. And this card says, if you kill 1 or more figures in battle in this region this round, you may choose to not discard this card at the end of the phase, leaving it in place for the next round. And it has a magic symbol. So let's go ahead and place that on the board. Alright, so we're going to play it here in Astalia to make up for the error we did last round. And this time we're going to have a warp stone and a magic symbol in this area. So if we can end up placing 2 or more corruption there, we will get an advancement token on our wheel. Alright, over to Slaanesh. Alright, so Slaanesh is going to play a card. It's a 0 cost card. So he's going to remain at 6 power points. And he's going to play Abyssal Pact. Enemy figures in this region contribute nothing to your opponent's domination values during the domination phase. Let's go ahead, play that on the board. Alright, so Slaanesh is going to play that card in Bretonia, which means any other figures now in that space are not going to contribute anything towards domination. Alright, back to Khorne. Alright, Khorne, all about the slaughter, is going to spend 2 power points, 5 down to 3, and he's going to bring a Bloodletter onto the board. Let's go find out where he's going to do that. Alright, Khorne is going to bring a Bloodletter into the Empire. He's trying to spread out his attack warriors to try and get as many tokens on his dial as possible by defeating and destroying the miniatures of Tzeentch, Nurgle, and Slaanesh. Alright, over to Nurgle. Alright, Nurgle is going to spend 1 power point, and he's going to bring a cultist onto the board. Let's go back to the board, and he's going to summon in a cultist. So yes, he keeps hammering on Kislev. He's going to bring in another cultist. Alright, over to us, Tzeentch, and see what we're going to do. Alright, we're going to spend 1 power point, and we're going to bring a cultist onto the board. Let's go over to the board and summon one in. Yeah, as Tzeentch, I'm really not liking these 2 Bloodletters here, but I'm just going to keep hammering in the cultists because I really want a turn on the wheel. Alright, over to Slaanesh. Alright, Slaanesh is going to spend 2 power points and bring in one of their warriors. Let's go see where he's going to do that. Alright, Slaanesh in the Empire is bringing in a warrior. Okay, that's Slaanesh. We're now back to Khorne again. Things move rapidly in the summoning phase, as you can see. So over to Khorne. Alright, Khorne is going to spend 2 power points, and he's going to do a summoning on the board, which is basically moving a character. So let's go over to the board and see which Bloodletter he's going to be moving. Alright, by spending those 2 power points, Khorne is going to take one of the 2 Bloodletters here in Astalia and move it adjacent over to Bretonia. Alright, over to Nurgle. Alright, Nurgle is going to spend 1 power point, and he's going to bring in a Plague Bearer warrior. Over in Kislev, let's go and place that miniature. Okay, so Nurgle is going to place another Plague Bearer warrior in that zone. Alright, we're over now, back to us, Tzeentch. Alright, we're going to spend 1 power point, and we are going to play Teleport, which is move any cultist or warrior in this region to any other region when you play this card. So let's go ahead on the board and play that card. Alright, we're going to play this in Bretonia, and we're actually going to take the Khorne Bloodletter and get him out of there. And we're going to, again, exile him up to Norska. I'm sure he's loving that. The reason I'm doing that is Tzeentch is I don't want Khorne getting too many dial turns and upgrades, and that removes him from battling in that zone. Alright, back to, we're over now to Slaanesh. Alright, Slaanesh is going to spend 1 power point, and they're going to summon a cultist to the board. Let's go to the board and do that. Alright, so in the Empire, Slaanesh bringing in another cultist. Alright, back over to Khorne. He has 1 power point. All right, so Corn not going to spend any power, but he is going to play a card, and he has a 0-point card. And the card is for Blood Frenzy. At the beginning of a battle in this region, you roll 2 dice here and apply any results and any hits before regular battle dice are rolled. So he's doing a preemptive strike somewhere. Let's find out where it is. And where he's going to play that card is in the Empire. So his Bloodletter will be able to, there will be 2 dice attack before anything happens, and then the Bloodletter is also going to be able to attack in that region. Okay, that's Corn. Over to Nurgle. All right, Nurgle, another cultist onto the board. Let's go find out where. I can guess where. Yes, once again up in Kislev, another Nurgle cultist. He is just hammering the area with his cultists. And now we're back to us, Tzeentch. All right, so we're going to play a Mess With You card. It's a 0-cost card. And we're going to play it down on the board somewhere, of course. And it says, when you play this card, each other player with at least 1 cultist in this region loses 1 power point. You gain 1 power point. All right, let's go to the board and play that card. And yes, it's pick on Nurgle time. So we're going to play this card in Kislev. Unfortunately for us, well, I guess whatever. Nurgle's the only one with cultists there. So Nurgle had 1 power point left. They're going to go to 0 because of that card we played. We had 3 power points. We're going up to 4. All right, over to Slaanesh. They have 3 power points left. And Slaanesh just going to spend 1 of his 3 power points and bring in another cultist. Let's go have a look and see where it is. Yes. Slaanesh is just pounding away at the Empire with cultists galore. Over to Corn. Corn still has 1 power point left and some cards. We don't know what they are, so let's go and see what he's going to do. Corn's going to spend his last power point, and he is going to play Battle Cry. If this will focus. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. It says, no corruption tokens may be placed in this region during this round. Ouch, that's nasty. Let's go to the board and see where he's doing that. Yes, Corn is hammering on Slaanesh in the Empire, and he's playing the card there. Okay, that's going to end. Corn is at 0. We're going over to Nurgle, but he's at 0. So we're back to Tzeentch, which is us. All right, this time we're going to spend 2 power points, and we're going to bring one of our warriors into play, one of the horrors. So let's go and place that on the board. All right, so we're going to place a horror, one of our warriors, in here in Astalia. See if we can knock out Corn's Bloodletter during the battle phase. All right, over to, it's going to go back and forth between Tzeentch and Slaanesh because we're the only ones with power points left. So over to Slaanesh. Slaanesh is not happy with Corn. Going to spend 2 power points and bring in Demonette Warrior. Let's go to the board and place the warrior. All right, so by Corn playing that card, they have effectively pooched Slaanesh from getting a dial turn this turn. They're going to put another warrior in here and try and tune up Corn's Bloodletter during the battle phase. The only one now left that has power points is Tzeentch. We have 2 of them, and let's decide what we're going to do. All right, so as Tzeentch, continuing in our mess with other players way, we're going to spend 1 power point, and we're going to play a card. We're going to play this card, which is when you play this card, choose an opponent with figures in this region. That player must discard 2 chaos cards from his hand. So let's go to the board and play that card. All right, we're playing that card way up here in Norska. Corn has a figure there. Corn must discard 2 cards from his hand. He has 4 cards. He's going to have to get rid of half of them. So that's good. So we're going to do that. And then it's going to be Tzeentch's turn again. We only have 1 power point left. And we'll do that. So right now, Corn's going to have to discard 2 of his 4 cards. All right, so for our last power point, we are going to bring in a cultist over in Astalia. Let's go place that on the board. All right, we're placing another cultist here. We are making absolutely sure that we're going to get a dial turn this time. And I think I'm going to leave the episode off here. We're all at 0 power points now, so it's the end of the summoning phase. The beginning of the second half of round 2, we will start with the battles. And there are going to be a few battles on the board. Then it's going to be going from there to the corruption phase and the end phase. All right, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Corn is at 9. Nurgle is at 6. Zinch is at 5, and Slaanesh is at 3. All right, join me next time for the conclusion of Chaos in the Old World, Round 2. Thanks for watching.